Hey, welcome. You're with Coach Jay today, and today we're talking, having a podcast on the title is Battling the Blaze, Firefighting Decisions in Your Business and Life. That's right, firefighting your decisions in business and life. We have found that in many times, this has been something that has been going on, this discussion has been going on in the boardroom, in the living room, in between just normal conversation. And everybody is looking at how we face firefighting decisions. We're not literally talking about a fire, but the unexpected challenges that flare up in our business, in our professional life, as well as our overall journey. We have to sit back and we're gonna look at the depth that we are dealing with when dealing with decisions. The first thing we need to recognize that there is a flame. You heard that saying, where there's smoke, there's a fire. Well, we need to first find out what is it that we're first that's bringing about this smoke. What are the early signs of the problems that we have detected? We need to sit back and really think about, are we dealing with the situation when it first blossomed? Are we looking at and prioritizing it? Are we looking at this is a critical fire, this is a high level fire to just a blazing flame where we could throw a little water on it? Or did in the past we ignore it and now we're downplaying the problem? I mean, I want you to sit back and think on that for a second and see if you're actually downplaying or not putting enough focus on your situation that you're addressing. What I mean by this is everybody knows that there's a level of a fire that causes people to react different. If you just have a stove fire, a small one, you might put a top on and put it out. If it's a grease fire, you want to move it from off the fire and put it somewhere where it can burn itself out. But if it's already been caught on back of the wall, now you need to come up with other agents to really put that fire. You have to bring your fire extinguisher or whatever up to the point of calling the fire department to help you in that situation. Well, just like we have different levels of approach, you need to look at the different levels that you're going to deal with once you have identified that there is a fire going on. There is a problem that is raging. It's no more a smoke. It's something that is going to require more attention than just saying it's a fire. We need to be able to get together and start really looking at the situation for what it is. And we need to prepare for the battle. We need to gather all the tools and identify the resources and allies that can help us address our issue. We need to stop trying to do everything by ourselves. We need to be able to be open to hear wise counseling from different directions as it helps us to change our perspective. The power of perspective, understanding every fire or challenge offers a chance to learn and grow. See, that's the problem I think that most of us have, is that we don't take advantage of the opportunity that when the smoke comes and the fire comes, even though we're going to have to address it, we need to make sure that we're learning from this encounter. We need to make sure that we're grasping whatever is being shared with us, whatever's being shown. We can't just sit there and ignore it like it doesn't exist. We have to sit back and say, okay, this was a small fire, but had I not embraced it and do what I did in that timing, then this could have, caused more damage or became a bigger situation to deal with. We have to learn to troubleshoot things at its smallest or whenever it's being introduced, instead of waiting till it's got to a place where it's out of control. Remember, one of the things that we talked about is being proactive versus reactive. Try to be as proactive as possible when time allows. Sometimes things have got out of control, they slip by you, and you're not able to catch it when it happens. You're just able to just flow with it as it goes. And I do understand that. Now remember, I don't have a fix-all. I'm just saying, I'm a realist. I understand if we don't do anything, that fire is still going to keep going, because as long as it's got something to fuel it, it's going to keep expanding, and eventually it's going to get out of control. Now, I'm not going to say in any situation that it's a perfect just fix all. You're going to have to make the adjustments as needed. You have to train, you have to prepare, you have to understand, even though I'm preparing for this, I have to look at other options that could be presented to me to help me with this uncontrollable fire maybe, or this small fire, or just the smoke. If I address it when it's a smoke, the likelihood of me being able to put it out is greater than once I see a flame, if that makes sense to anybody. A lot of times we wait till the problem or situation gets to a place where it begins to burn into other things, meaning the problem went from here to another place, and now instead of having one little problem or one little situation, now I have many. And we have to be careful of that. we have to be careful not to let us get ourselves in that place. And the way that we can deal with that is what I call training drills, where you begin to evaluate and rehearse responses to potential problems in a safe environment. And what I mean by that, I mean where you're able to sit back and say, you know what, let's go through some drills. What do I do when my stress level is starting to escalate? What do I do to try to bring that down? What are some of the practices that I can introduce to myself to kind of calm myself down? Can I go on a walk? Can I go and sit and do one of those Calgon take me away moments in the tub? Do I go in and have a quiet place to sit down and empty everything? Or do I read a book? Whatever it is, you have to introduce little exits so that you'll be able to rehearse and have practice when, for example, a stress level comes up. Or there's a problem with the job, you're not meeting your deadlines. How do you deal with that? How do you put things in place to kind of reduce that anxiety that could be creeping in because you're not meeting your deadline? Is it because you're not preparing? Is it because you're not taking the time to put enough emphasis in preparing for that? I don't know. But what we need to do is try to find a way to help us to reduce any unwanted stress as we begin to navigate through the things that we're trying to do in life. That's one thing. Again, figuring out the training drills or rehearsals that you can use to help you as you go forth in this. Now, here we go. We have to be careful that we don't add additional pressure to the situation. We got to be able to be strategically sound and informed and knowledgeable of what we are dealing with. See, there are some situations that need additional help, and there are some that we can just address ourselves. Figure out which one it is. Again, going back to prioritizing. Know the level of the situation. Know the level of the challenge that you're facing. And don't sit up there and jump into something that maybe is going to cause you more pain than help. Understand that you're not perfect. Understand that every solution is not going to be able to put out every fire. So that's why they have firefighters, because we realize that sometimes fires get out of control. They get out of path where we can do it by ourselves. We could put a small one out with just putting a lid on it or moving the pan with fire to another place. But there's some, once it hits the wood and hits the drapes and all that, we have nothing to do with it. We could put the water hose on it, but we don't have enough water to put it out. We don't have enough information. We don't have enough resource. But yet we are not trained to deal with it at that level. And believe it or not, we're going to have some hurdles like that in our life where we're not equipped at the time when that situation comes, how to deal with it. The perfect example, we can look at having a baby. Although we sit there and plan and get the milk, the pamper stuff, until that baby gets there, we really don't know what we embark on. We can babysit everybody's kid, but until that baby comes and it's your baby, is a whole different requirement and expectation that comes from that, and we have to make that adjustment and make it quickly. Sometimes that's a fire that burns out of control. But see, it can start burning, but there are people around you who have been where you are that can give you pointers if you will only listen to help you as you go forth in it. Again, remember, we're dealing with the fires and how we make our decision during those flaming moments. We have to become firefighters. We have to know that we have to be able to put some of these fires out on our own and with help. We need to know and adopt our resources. We cannot continue to let these fires overcome us. Now, here's the thing that we have to understand. Once we get it under control and we understand our practice and the drills, we need to deal with the situation after the smoke clears. That's right, post-fire analysts. We have to go back and do an assessment. We need to, as they say, do property damage assessment. We need to see, by not going forth in the way that we did, how did it affect us? What scars do we have? What damage do we have? What assessment that is needed? We need to be able to go back and look at the aftermath of what happened because we didn't move fast enough. We need to learn from the ashes. Every challenge leaves a lesson, and it's an awakening. You should embrace the fact that what you're going through is just a moment for wisdom and knowledge. One opportunity for you to grab and say, you know what, when situations like this arise, here's plan A, plan B, and plan C. Usually I would take the A approach or I would take the B approach, but I have learned over time that this approach has not been beneficial for me, so I'm gonna look at it from another angle and I'm gonna try a different respect. But the thing is, you learn now that you have different options. You just don't have plan A no more. Now you have B and possibly C. So looking at the situation, seeing what the results previous were, now you can sit back and say, from these ashes, from these scars, from these bruises, now I understand something. And now I have more information on how to deal with different things that come up. You have to understand that what we're talking about is a rebuilding and reinforcement, strength over weakness, your points, your perspective to prevent future fires. You want to be able to say, you know what? The reason why this didn't go the way that I wanted it to go is because I was not prepared, or I didn't rehearse for it, or I was caught blindsided, or. Somewhere through that, you're gonna have to still take a self-evaluation and see where you failed to train, plan, or whatever it may be that would have caused this negative action to happen. Again, some things are out of your control, but there's some things you can control. And for those things you can, that's what we want to address. For those we can't, we want to make sure we have enough resources in place to help us as we go through this learning curve that we're dealing with. Now, we have to be able to not only look at our strengths and our weakness, but we got to look at our personal firefighting techniques. Handling life's unexpected challenges. That's right, handling life's unexpected challenges. And one of those things that drives that is our emotion. That's emotional resilience. Building a mental and emotional fortitude to face your personal challenges head on. That's right. We need to be able to face these challenges head on. We need to be able to get our mind right that no one is going to help us. This is how we got to see it. No one is going to help us. And if they are, these people I've already built a relationship with, and I can trust them to come through when needed. Just like the regular firefighters. When you realize you can't put the fire, you call the number, they come. You believe that they're capable of doing everything that is needed to put out this fire. You believe that you can call upon them, and within minutes, they'll be there to help you fix the problem. Well, that's not going to happen unless you believe, just like the normal fire department in your city or town or state, you have to believe that the people that you surround yourself with are just that willing to be there, just that committed to seeing your success, just that committed to provide you whatever resources they can to help you to put out the flames of your decisions or your situations or whatever it may be at that time. You have to be able for you to look at things head on. You cannot keep dodging around it, can't put it on the back burner. You have to say, you know what, I got to address this now, because if I don't, it's going to address me later. You have to be able to rely on those people who you consider mentors. The people that have professional development, those people that you have deemed that are key in your life. You need to find the silver lining, finding hope and positive, even in aftermath of a personal crisis. Let's go right there for a minute. We have to be able to look at the situation, no matter how bad it is, no matter what the results are, how much we may have lost. We have to look at it and say, you know what can I find positive out of this situation? And don't be hard on yourself. Stop beating yourself just because you reacted slow, just because now you're in retroactive or reactive mode. Stop. It's a process. Everybody's not going to jump out and be proactive automatically. You have to learn this. You have to coach yourself how to do this. But these little trainings and these exercises, these situations that you go through are to help and encourage you to be more proactive, not waiting till things happen. You don't want to lose anything in life. Nobody sitting here, and I'm going to give you an example, wants to fix their house up and be all beautified in all the way that you want it just to see it get burned down. If you could prevent that from happening, you would. And that's what we're saying. Your whole life, your career, everything you work for is a beautiful picture of you. And life going to throw its challenge at you that's going to try to find some way to create a fire that you're going to lose control of and burn down everything that you have set. Sometimes through conversation, sometimes it's being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and sometimes it's just life. But those just life moments are life moments for learning lessons where you can generate and cultivate and to help you to go. Listen, again, I'm not saying everything I shared is on point and everything that is going to present an answer for your situation. What I'm trying to do is put a thought in your mind that maybe open up a way that you can look at things from a different perspective. I'm trying to eliminate this tunnel vision that we have created and focusing on one way and one way only. We need to be open to see things from all angles. And hopefully by the end of you seeing this podcast, I have said something that is going to inspire you to look at things from a different angle. That's the only objective that I have. And if you would like to know more, please hit me up. You can email me at James@One Movement LLC. Again, that's James@One Movement LLC. Or go visit the website, One Movement LLC, and let's talk about it. Right now, I'm getting a free consultation to anyone that will sit back and want to talk about personal development, personal coaches, business coaching, entrepreneurship, skills, skill level improvement, one-on-one sessions. I have something for you. if you're looking at bettering yourself in performance and meeting your performance needs, please, let's talk about it. Again, Coach Jay, I'm here for you. Talk to you soon. Have a great one.